listen.
Well, truthfully, there was talk of doing another one before we even finished shooting the first one.
So Netflix somehow extracted another movie off of a character who straight up died in the last one's ending. And I mentioned in the first LME how the Russos have been expanding as producers, including with that one, and how they were eventually going to work with the Daniels. And well, if you listen, we got you. This one's also directed by Sam Hargrave, who did the first one, but also did a lot more Marvel stuff than I realized, because he directed and doubled for that Cap-on-Cap fight, where he was playing the older Cap since he was playing him for a long time, and then he was fighting alongside his younger brother, who was a stunt double for the younger Cap. Turns out he wasn't just coordinating stunts, but was directing a lot of the action scenes for Marvel. Like, he's the one who filmed the Wakanda entrance in Infinity War with Thor? Bruh, is he that one in the group project who does all the work? Well, these two directed directors?
Really excited about this next chapter of my life.
So with full spoilers, let me explain.
Job came in.
You were clinically dead 9 months ago.
So in the first one, Tyler Rake was able to pull a successful extraction before dying, and now he's been born again. This sequel begins with him in therapy after almost drowning and having to film Thor 4, eventually finding himself in a cabin in the woods. That's when a new character named Alcott comes in, offering him another job since he's now known as the Myth of Mumbai.
Are you Rake? No, I asked you first.
He gives the LME on these two brothers who built up a criminal empire after being raised through a war, and a daddy who abused them growing up. And well, they don't just wear wife beaters, but live up to their T. One of them is still out and about killing his enemies with our hero's last name after making them walk to their own grave. A little fun fact here, the director is the one digging, which is a lot easier than when he strapped himself to a car in the first movie.
Whatever I've asked Chris or any other stunt performer to do, I've either done myself or have designed. To some degree.
But he's still strapping himself to a car in the second movie. While one brother's pulling a double tap, the other one's in trouble and trapped his entire family in prison alongside him, like he's Bane. The twist, though, is that all those flashbacks from the first movie, completely extracted too. Turns out that the mom in prison is actually Tyler's wife's sister, making them
family.
After chilling for a bit and watching Dancing with the Stars, which almost kept him from being Thor in real life, Tyler's inspired to come back by this Buzz Lightyear painting that his son made for him in the past, and he retrains himself through a Rocky montage. As soon as he arrives to save the family, the little girl forgets it's a quiet place and tips off the prison when she drops her toy, sending them on the longest movie oneer I've seen in a minute. Personally, I think the one from the previous movie was better, and that one already clocked in at a whopping 12 minutes. Here, they legit just went, what if we put the 2 in front of the 1? They're going from cell to cell, forcing the focus puller to struggle more than Tyler. He's blowing up the doors while the family's still by its hinges, but luckily they let the kids escape before it truly gets rated R. They had said that it took about 29 days to film it, with over 400 stunts and extras. And look, as a long take aficionado, I thought it was pretty awesome, even if it isn't truly uncut like what the movie Victoria did, because there are moments where they push the camera in on stuff just to be able to hide the edit, or switch out for a double, but it's still 21 minutes of intensity. Tyler ends up fighting with his brother-in-law, but it's the wife who takes him out with a shovel and keeps it as she tangles with the prisoners out in the open, and then we get like a mini Raid 2 fight. Now, they claim that Chris really got lit up like a fire flower and got to do the Mario punch on set, and if that's true, it did look like the coolest part of this stunt. This wonder then keeps going as they escape the prison and pull a Children of Men as they get into the car and swivel away. Vehicles start flipping, bikers start tripping, and they're taking more shots than 007, but damn, do the bad guys get so close, and yet like this long take, couldn't get one shot.
Chris is like, I don't want to run anymore. I'm like, I'm running with you, man. I'm right there with you.
This was the most painful sequence, funny enough, out of all the things I'd done.
They continue on a train where Tyler's still in his Call of Duty and pulls a metal slug as he starts taking them out from the sky. The ops still find a way to get on board as they're going 40 miles an hour, but Rake's bullets pierce through them in the snow as he ends up taking down more helicopters than Captain America. The surviving brother finds out what happened to his brother and almost performs his own autopsy. Meanwhile, Tyler needs to reveal why he was running so fast and furiously.
I was going to tell you when we landed.
That said, his nephew prefers his other uncle. Sandro calls the other bad brother, who tries to convince him that it was actually the mom's plan to get their daddy killed the entire time, but Tyler fathers him by calling his daddy a liar and tells him that lies should not consume him because he's now the new man of the house. The kid still gives out the assassination coordinates. The bad guys fly in and just shoot up the entire tower with the family inside, and yet this boy still runs back like a puppy. And look, I'll give them credit for what's obviously a promo for this Vienna tower, because clearly they needed some nice real estate drone shots, but Netflix was just shooting up the place. The bad guys then come in with an army, bazookas, and goons who look like Goombas. Tyler's able to get the family to safety and help this girl's vitamin deficiency while he's wrecking more Range Rovers than a Sweet 16. They set up booby traps to prove they're not home alone, as Yaz gets one of the best fight scenes with these awesome shots going down the stairs, but it's Tyler who gets the goofiest sequence because the whole gym scene turns out was based off workouts gone wrong.
Sam said there was actually the stunt department fight choreographers based on YouTube fails of people going into
No
the gym
way.
and like, caught up in a bit of equipment or slipping off the treadmill and then
Let's just kill 'em.
combined it with an action scene and kill 'em.
Nick takes her fight to the roof where she almost falls off before Tyler breaks the glass ceiling for her and holds on for dear life even after getting shot in the hand. That grip, though. The bad guy doesn't notice Nick's awake and ends up in the same position as Tyler as he swings her in and she fights that Turtle Club guy who barely made it up. Boy gets waxed in seconds. These two both do pull-ups and then make dust angels on the roof as we get the worst fight between in-laws, and there's not even alcohol involved. They're able to punch their way out of there, but right as they're about to escape, Yaz gets shot. And I don't know what it's Hemsworth, but at least now he has matching shirt holes like he wanted.
It's with the shirt. You lose a bet or something.
Don't you like it?
No.
I get you one.
One thing that stood out in both involvements for me is that sibling relationship, not only between Yaz and Nick, but also with them and Tyler, because I like that a lot of their banter doesn't lead to the cliche romance subplots, but keeps their action to strictly action. On top of that, Golshifteh Farahani is a certified badass. Like, this woman was actually exiled from her home country of Iran after making projects the government didn't like, so she really is about that life. Meanwhile, Hemsworth is getting 40x billboards with his sweat on it.
This could actually be sweat from Chris Hemsworth. We could collect it and sell it.
They make it back to Rake's secret base, where he finally gets reunited with his wife, Olga Kurilenko. And he doesn't even get a hello, a welcome to the franchise, nothing. But then we learn that it was actually Tyler who dipped on his child because he was sick and couldn't do anything about it. So, happy Father's Day.
I couldn't fix it. I couldn't fucking fix it.
So he just extracted himself. Got it. The bad guy refuses to leave until he gets his third act fight and even goes as far as killing his own right-hand man.
I'm not coming to negotiate.
Tyler sneaks up on them since his Metal Gear is solid and is able to take down that one action goon from John Wick. He then lights up the place in order to save his nephew, but Sandro está sordo and doesn't even hear him coming or even see that he's become the bomb. They take the final fight to the church,
In the house of God?
where the bad guy thinks he's in a God-given quest, which is kind of hard to convince those type of people. He's even strapped his nephew to blow. Nick comes in just in time to exchange body shots with no hands, and then these two get lows. They're hitting each other with plywood, nails, saws. Chris almost even grabs a hammer, but isn't worthy enough, which I thought was a really clever homage to his previous job of almost becoming a carpenter. Right as Tyler's about to run out of HP, he's able to take out Zurab as they lay there like pieces on a chessboard. In the end, both Tyler and Nick survive long enough to see a trilogy, but they're both in prison. Until they're not, as Heimdall extracts them and opens new doors for them to work on a third.
My name doesn't matter.
No, it does.
Who I work for?
The Russos?